The morning sunlight reflected off the polished hull of the stellar Phoenix, casting golden lines across the launch platform. Captain Mira Talon stood at the edge of the observation deck, her hands clasped behind her back, watching the preparations with a mix of pride and anticipation. Today was the day humanity would take a bold step farther than ever before, launching a ship designed to push the boundaries of exploration. Around her, the crew moved with precise coordination, checking instruments, running diagnostics, and confirming every protocol with an almost ritualistic care. The ship was a marvel. Its sleek frame shimmered with a metallic sheen, designed not only for speed but for efficiency in the most hostile regions of space. The stellar Phoenix carried innovations that had been the dream of engineers for decades: quantum engines capable of near-light-speed travel, adaptive shields that could adjust to extreme energy bursts, and a navigation system guided by AI algorithms designed to learn and predict the movements of celestial bodies. Every inch of the ship reflected the tireless dedication of the scientists, engineers, and dreamers who had poured their lives into its creation. Mira took a deep breath and felt the familiar tension of responsibility settle in her chest. As captain, she carried the weight of the crew and the expectations of an entire world. She glanced at her team, each one hand-picked for their expertise. Commander Rylan, her second-in-command, was meticulously checking the control panels with a precision that bordered on obsession. Lieutenant Solara, the ship's communications officer, tapped rapidly at a console, confirming that every transmission line was open and secure. The rest of the crew moved in a well-rehearsed rhythm, like dancers performing a carefully choreographed routine. "Captain," Rylan said, his voice calm but with a trace of excitement, "all systems report green. Engines are stable, shields at optimal levels, and the AI is running diagnostic protocols as scheduled." Mira nodded. "Thank you, Rylan. Let's give the world a show they'll never forget." The countdown began, echoing across the launch platform and into the hearts of millions watching from Earth. 10, 9, 8. Mira felt a thrill run through her as the engines hummed to life, their energy pulsating beneath her feet. 7, 6, 5. The air seemed to vibrate with anticipation. 4, 3, 2, 1. The stellar Phoenix lifted off with a roar that reverberated through the platform. Flames and exhaust painted the sky in streaks of orange and white as the ship climbed higher, leaving behind a trail of light that seemed to promise a future full of hope and discovery. Mira's hands tightened on the railing, her eyes never leaving the horizon. As the ship cleared the atmosphere, the Earth's curvature came into view, a beautiful swirl of blues and greens beneath a blanket of white clouds. "Trajectory is stable," Solara reported. "We're clear of the atmosphere and entering low orbit." Mira allowed herself a small smile. "Excellent. Prepare to engage the quantum engines." The ship shuddered slightly as the engines transitioned to quantum mode, and in an instant, the stars outside the viewport stretched into brilliant streaks of light. The sensation was unlike anything any human had ever experienced. Speed beyond imagination, yet complete control. The stellar Phoenix had become more than a machine. It was a bridge to the unknown, a vessel carrying humanity's dreams into the void. As the ship accelerated, Mira's mind wandered to the countless hours of preparation, the setbacks, the doubts, and the endless nights spent ensuring everything was perfect. Humanity had built wonders before, but never anything like this. The stellar Phoenix was not just a ship. It was a symbol of human ingenuity, courage, and relentless determination. Weeks of careful planning had led to this moment, and yet Mira knew that the true challenges lay ahead. The galaxy was vast, and space had a way of testing even the most prepared explorers. Unknown dangers waited in the darkness: cosmic storms, rogue asteroids, and forces beyond human understanding. but she also knew that humans thrived in the face of challenges. It was their creativity, their ability to adapt, that had allowed them to survive and flourish where others might have failed. As the ship settled into its course beyond the solar system, Solara's voice broke through the quiet hum of the bridge. "Captain, I'm picking up something on the long-range sensors. It's unusual. I'm not sure what it is yet." Mira leaned forward, her eyes narrowing. "Show me." The screen lit up with a faint, irregular blip. It was distant, almost imperceptible, but it didn't match any known celestial body. Mira frowned. "Could it be a comet or an asteroid?" Rylan shook his head. "I've checked the databases. Nothing matches its trajectory or signature. It doesn't appear to be natural." Mira's pulse quickened. Humanity had always wondered if they were alone, if there were other intelligences in the vast darkness of space. And now, without warning, something unknown had appeared, silent and waiting. "Keep monitoring it," Mira ordered. "Do not engage. Let's gather more data before jumping to conclusions." The crew worked silently, each member focused on their instruments. The blip remained distant, almost like a shadow against the stars, but its presence was undeniable. Mira couldn't shake the feeling that it was watching, waiting, testing them in some way. Hours passed as the stellar phoenix continued its journey. The mysterious signal remained, neither approaching nor retreating, as if it existed outside the normal rules of motion. Mira tried to maintain calm for the crew, but a seed of unease had been planted. There was something out there, something human or not, and its purpose was unknown. In the meantime, the ship's AI began running its own analysis, cross-referencing patterns and scanning for anomalies. "Captain," the AI said in its calm, neutral voice, "the object's signature is consistent with human-made materials, though its construction predates current technological capabilities. Probability of artificial origin is 97%. Mira's brow furrowed. "Human-made? That's impossible. The Stellar Phoenix is the first ship of its kind." The AI continued. "There is no recorded mission matching its profile in any known archives. Further observation is recommended." Mira exchanged a glance with Rylan. "It seems our journey just got a lot more complicated." The crew spent the next several days monitoring the signal, trying to discern its origin. Each analysis brought new questions and more fascination. The object was massive, clearly constructed with advanced technology, yet it carried a sense of age, as if it had drifted through space for decades, untouched and unclaimed. At night, Mira would stand alone on the observation deck, staring out into the infinite dark, her thoughts wandering to the possibilities. Could it be another civilization? A lost mission from humanity's past? Or something entirely unknown, waiting for them in the emptiness? Despite the unease, there was also excitement. This was the essence of exploration, the unknown, the challenge, the thrill of discovery. Humans were not meant to stay within the boundaries of the familiar. They thrived when they faced uncertainty, when they used their minds, their courage, and their resourcefulness to overcome obstacles that seemed insurmountable. The Stellar Phoenix continued its journey, stars streaking past like rivers of light, carrying humanity's hope into the void. Mira's crew worked tirelessly, maintaining the ship, analyzing data, and preparing for whatever awaited them. And all the while, the mysterious object drifted silently, waiting for the moment when humans would come close enough to learn its secrets. Then, one evening, the ship's sensors picked up something remarkable. The object had changed position slightly, aligning in a way that suggested intention. It was no longer just a passive presence. It was as if it had been waiting for them to arrive. Mira felt a thrill mixed with apprehension. The universe had a way of reminding humans that exploration was never without risk, yet it also rewarded those willing to step into the unknown. "Captain," Solara said, her voice barely a whisper, "it's moving closer. Not rapidly, but with purpose. Whatever it is, it knows we're here." Mira felt a shiver run down her spine. She had faced countless challenges in her career, but nothing compared to the weight of the unknown now before her. She squared her shoulders, meeting the gaze of her crew. "We're explorers," she said, her voice steady despite the tension. "We face what comes. Prepare the team. We're going to learn what's out there." As the Stellar Phoenix approached the edge of the sensor range, the object finally came into view, a massive shape drifting against the backdrop of distant stars. Mira's eyes widened. It was unmistakable. The hull, the shape, the intricate details, it was identical to their own ship, yet older, weathered by decades in the cold emptiness of space. For a moment, time seemed to stand still on the bridge. Every hand froze, every breath held, every mind racing to understand. The Stellar Phoenix had been humanity's greatest achievement, the pinnacle of innovation and ingenuity. And now, before them, was a mirror. A ship they had built, yet one that had existed long before they had ever taken flight. Mira's heart pounded, a mixture of awe, fear, and wonder. "Rylan," she said, her voice steady but filled with emotion, "set a course for a safe approach. We need to know what we're dealing with, and why it's here." As the crew followed her orders, a sense of destiny settled over the Stellar Phoenix. Humanity had reached for the stars, and the stars had answered in the most unexpected way. Something was waiting, something that promised discovery, challenge, and perhaps the greatest adventure of all. The ship moved closer, engines humming softly as the mystery unfolded before their eyes. And in that moment, Mira knew one thing with absolute certainty. Humanity had arrived at the edge of the unknown, and they would face it together, with courage, ingenuity, and determination. The adventure was only beginning, and the galaxy had much to reveal. The Stellar Phoenix moved cautiously toward the object, its sensors scanning and recording every detail. The older ship drifted silently, a ghostly reflection of their own vessel, untouched by life yet strangely intact. Captain Mira Talon stood at the command center, her eyes fixed on the screens, absorbing every piece of data that flowed in. The ship's AI worked tirelessly, comparing schematics, hull integrity, and energy signatures. Everything matched, the design, the technology, the arrangement of decks, but this version of the ship had no official record. It had never existed. Yet here it was, waiting in the depths of space. Lieutenant Solara's fingers danced across her console as she processed the readings. "Captain, the hull is older, yes, but the materials are advanced. There are markings, symbols I don't recognize, but they're consistent with human design patterns. This ship is human-made, but from a timeline we don't have access to." Mira exhaled slowly. "So we're not just dealing with a mystery. We're dealing with history we weren't supposed to know." Commander Rylan frowned, tapping the console. "If this ship was built before ours, it means someone, some humans, managed this feat before us. But where are they now? Why is this ship alone?" The crew exchanged uneasy glances. The questions seemed endless. Who had built this ship? What had happened to the crew? And why had it appeared at this exact location, so precisely in their path? "Prepare a small boarding team," Mira ordered. "We're going to find answers, but we move cautiously. The last thing we need is to rush into danger." The crew suited up, donning protective gear and carrying portable scanners. A docking maneuver was executed with precision. The Stellar Phoenix's airlock connected to the older ship, the metal of the two vessels meeting with a soft click that echoed faintly through the void. Mira led the boarding team, stepping into the unknown with a mixture of awe and apprehension. The interior of the older ship was eerily silent. Dust and debris floated in zero gravity, illuminated by the flickering lights of systems that had partially powered down over decades. The corridors were narrow, familiar yet strange. Mira's steps echoed softly against the metal floors, her eyes scanning for any sign of life. "Sensors show no biological life," Solara reported, "but systems are partially operational. Some power remains, enough to access data and logs." Rylan approached a terminal and began the delicate process of unlocking the old ship's systems. The screen flickered, then came alive with lines of text and schematics. As the AI began to analyze the files, a series of recordings appeared, labeled with names that Mira didn't recognize. "These are crew logs," Solara said, her voice barely above a whisper. "Captain, there's a message here from the original captain." Mira leaned in, holding her breath as the screen displayed the first log. The voice was calm, measured, and deliberate. A human voice, yet one that carried the weight of experience and purpose. "If anyone finds this ship, know that humanity has reached farther than history records. We built this vessel not for war, but for understanding. We carry the hope of discovery and the responsibility that comes with it." Mira felt a chill run through her spine. Here was a human voice from the past, speaking across decades, reminding them that exploration was not just about technology or speed, but about courage and morality. The logs continued. The older crew had ventured into uncharted regions, encountering phenomena that defied explanation. Stars that burned with impossible colors, nebulae that hummed with energy, and gravitational waves that seemed to move with intelligence. Each log revealed that the crew had learned to adapt, to innovate, and to rely on one another in ways that reflected the very essence of human resilience. "They faced the unknown," Mira murmured, "just like we are. And they survived. Somehow." As the team moved deeper into the ship, they discovered a chamber filled with automated devices, AI assistants designed to assist the crew in navigation, repairs, and scientific analysis. The AI interfaces were more advanced than anything the Stellar Phoenix carried, capable of learning from human behavior and adjusting strategies in real time. Rylan examined the devices. These AIs were built to anticipate human creativity. They were learning from the crew, not just assisting. Whoever built this understood that humans are unpredictable, resourceful, and capable of solutions no algorithm can fully predict. Mira nodded, feeling a sense of awe. Humanity had always been underestimated by those who measured only by technology or strength. But humans had something unique: the ability to imagine, to adapt, and to act with courage even when the outcome was uncertain. The old ship was proof of that spirit, a monument to the power of human determination. Solara pointed to another console. "Captain, there's a map here. It shows locations beyond our current charts. Some of these systems we've never recorded. And the trajectories suggest contact with an alien civilization." Mira's eyes widened. "Aliens?" "Yes," Solara replied. "The logs indicate that the original crew encountered a species capable of advanced communication and technology, but instead of hostility, the logs suggest respect, fascination even. They seemed to admire human ingenuity." The realization hit the team. Humans had reached out into the stars before, not for conquest, but for understanding. And even in the face of beings far more advanced, they had demonstrated qualities that inspired respect, creativity, courage, and ethical decision-making. As they explored, the Stellar Phoenix's AI cross-referenced the data with known records. "Captain, no records exist of this mission in any Earth archives. It appears deliberately removed or lost. Probability suggests external interference or intentional secrecy." Mira frowned. "So history doesn't remember them, but we've found proof. Their journey was real, and it matters." Rylan added, And it reminds us that our journey isn't just about us. We're part of a larger story. There are paths humanity has walked before, lessons we can learn, and mistakes we must avoid. The team continued their search and discovered a control room with a massive viewport looking out into the endless void. Mira stepped forward, gazing at the stars. The older ship had drifted here, seemingly waiting for them. And now, as they stared into space, they realized that the universe was not indifferent. Something had guided them to this moment, something that wanted them to understand, to learn, and perhaps to continue where others had left off. A sudden alert interrupted the quiet. Solara's fingers flew over the console. "Captain, life signs detected. Minimal but present, they're faint, almost imperceptible." Mira's pulse quickened. Could it be the original crew? The AI analyzed the data. Unlikely. The readings are not consistent with humans. Biological matter is faint, irregular, and partially integrated into the ship's systems. Unknown classification. Mira exchanged a glance with Rylan. It seems this ship has evolved, in a sense, without its crew. We must proceed carefully. Whatever this is, it's connected to the original mission. And it's still active. The crew split into teams to examine the systems, gathering logs, scanning compartments, and documenting everything. They discovered research files, data on alien languages, and records of planetary systems never before seen. Each discovery reinforced the HFY theme. Humans had faced the unknown before, adapted, and thrived. Even without recognition, their achievements echoed across time and space. Hours passed, then days. The crew worked tirelessly, absorbing the knowledge left behind. The older ship seemed almost alive, responding to their presence in subtle ways. A door opening, a console activating, a pattern in the lights that suggested recognition. It was as if the ship itself remembered humans and had waited for others to arrive. Mira gathered the team for a briefing. "This ship is more than a mystery," she said. "It's proof of what humanity can do. Even in isolation, even without recognition, humans have the ability to explore, learn, and inspire. And now, it has chosen to share its lessons with us. We must honor that. We must continue where they left off, with the same courage, ingenuity, and respect for the unknown." Rylan nodded. "We're not just explorers now. We're the continuation of a legacy. The universe has given us a gift, and we can't waste it." Solara added, "And perhaps we'll encounter what the original crew discovered. We may not be the first, but we can still be the ones to complete the journey." Mira smiled, a sense of determination filling her chest. "Prepare the Stellar Phoenix. We have data to integrate, upgrades to make, and a mission that is bigger than any of us. The past has shown us what is possible. Now it's our turn to step into the unknown." As the team returned to their own ship, the older vessel remained silently drifting, a sentinel in the darkness, holding secrets and knowledge, waiting for humanity to rise to the challenge. Mira watched it one last time before turning back to her crew. The stars beyond stretched infinitely, filled with potential, danger, and discovery. But for the first time, she felt that humanity was ready. The Stellar Phoenix disengaged, moving away from the older ship, engines humming steadily. The crew worked together, integrating the data and insights they had gathered. It was exhausting work, but every discovery fueled their excitement. The mystery of the past had become the inspiration for the future. Mira sat in her chair on the bridge, watching the older ship fade into the distance. "They waited for us," she said softly. "And now it's our turn. Let's make sure humanity lives up to its legacy." The journey ahead was uncertain. There were dangers they could not yet imagine. Challenges that would test their minds and bodies, and decisions that would define the future of human exploration. But for the first time, Mira felt a sense of unshakable confidence. Humans had done it before, in ways no record could remember, and now, with courage, ingenuity, and unity, they would do it again. The stars stretched before them, silent and infinite. The stellar phoenix moved forward, carrying humanity's hope, its resilience, and its unyielding spirit into the great unknown. The adventure was far from over, but the first steps had been taken, and the legacy of human ingenuity had found new life in the hands of those brave enough to embrace it. The stellar phoenix had left the older ship behind, but its presence lingered in the minds of Captain Mira Talon and her crew. Every sensor reading, every log file, every AI analysis carried hints of a mission that had come before theirs, a mission that had reached farther into the stars than anyone knew. The knowledge of what had come before was both inspiring and humbling. Humans had accomplished this feat once, and now it was up to them to continue. For days, the crew worked tirelessly, integrating data from the older ship into their own systems. The Stellar Phoenix's AI analyzed star maps, alien signals, and experimental technologies left behind. It was a monumental task, one that demanded focus, ingenuity, and patience. Mira moved among the crew, offering encouragement, answering questions, and keeping the team focused. The excitement of discovery mingled with the weight of responsibility. They were walking in the footsteps of people who had vanished from history, and the stakes were immense. Lieutenant Solara paused at a terminal, squinting at a sequence of alien symbols decoded from the older ship's logs. "Captain, I think we're ready for the next step. These symbols are coordinates, and the pattern suggests a path to a civilization beyond our current knowledge. They're not just random locations. It's a trail, a guide left for anyone brave enough to follow." Mira's eyes widened. "A civilization?" "Yes," Solara said, excitement and awe blending in her voice. "The logs indicate that the original crew encountered beings capable of technology and communication far beyond ours. But the remarkable thing is, these beings respected the crew. They didn't attack. They observed, studied, and learned. They seemed fascinated by humanity." Commander Rylan joined them, his brows drawn in thought. "That's incredible. Humans were able to reach a level of interaction that even more advanced species found remarkable. It's proof that our ingenuity, creativity, and ethical decisions are powerful, even in a galaxy filled with far superior technology." Mira nodded, feeling a surge of pride. "That's exactly what we need to remember. Technology alone isn't enough. Humanity succeeds because of its ideas, its ability to adapt, and its courage to do what is right, even when the outcome is uncertain." The crew prepared the Stellar Phoenix for the journey along the path revealed in the old logs. It was a route that had never been mapped, full of unknown stars, asteroids, and cosmic phenomena. The AI carefully plotted a course, using data from the previous mission while adding real-time observations. Mira had a sense of stepping into history, but also of creating a future. As they traveled, the Stellar Phoenix encountered anomalies, strange energy fields that twisted light and gravity, stars that pulsed with unusual frequencies, and clouds of dust that seemed to shimmer with movement. Every obstacle tested the crew's ingenuity. The AI provided calculations and suggestions, but it was human intuition and creativity that allowed them to navigate safely. At one point, a massive asteroid field loomed ahead, its jagged rocks moving unpredictably. The AI predicted a possible path, but Mira knew it wasn't enough. She called a meeting on the bridge. "We need a plan that adapts as the field moves. We can't rely solely on the AI. Humans think differently. We see patterns, improvise, and make decisions that machines can't always predict." The crew devised a dynamic navigation strategy, combining AI calculations with real-time observation and human judgment. It was a success. The Stellar Phoenix slipped through the asteroid field with precision, every member of the crew playing a role. Mira allowed herself a small smile. Humanity's strength lay not in machines, but in the minds, hearts, and courage of those who dared to face the unknown. After the passage through the asteroid field, the stellar phoenix reached a region of space unlike any they had ever seen. Nebulae glowed with vibrant colors, strange magnetic waves hummed softly, and planets moved in orbits that defied conventional physics. It was breathtaking, but the beauty hid danger. Mira reminded the crew that exploration was never without risk, and yet they pressed forward, guided by the knowledge from the older ship. Then, sensors picked up a signal, a communication pattern, structured and intelligent. The crew's excitement was palpable. "This is it," Solara said, her voice trembling with excitement. "The civilization the logs mentioned. We're picking up their transmissions." Mira nodded, her heart racing. "Open a channel. Let's make contact carefully. Remember, they are advanced. We need to show respect, intelligence, and trustworthiness." The communication unfolded slowly, alien voices speaking in patterns the AI translated into understandable language. The beings introduced themselves as observers, not conquerors. They spoke of curiosity, of fascination with life forms that could invent, adapt, and create. They asked questions about humanity, about Earth, and about the crew of the stellar Phoenix. Mira responded with clarity and honesty, explaining humanity's drive for exploration, discovery, and understanding. She spoke of the previous crew, whose legacy had guided them, and of the human spirit that thrived on courage and ingenuity. The aliens reacted with interest and admiration. "Your species demonstrates qualities that even advanced civilizations find remarkable. Creativity, adaptability, moral consideration, these are rare. You are valued not for what you possess in technology, but for what you are capable of as a species." The crew exchanged amazed glances. This was more than first contact, it was recognition. Humans, despite being new to the wider galaxy, were respected for their resourcefulness, courage, and ethical choices. Mira felt a surge of pride and responsibility. Humanity had something unique, something worth protecting and celebrating. The interaction continued, with the aliens sharing knowledge about distant star systems, advanced energy sources, and techniques for navigation that transcended current understanding. Mira instructed the crew to absorb as much information as possible while maintaining respect and humility. They were students and peers, learning from beings far more advanced, yet being valued for the qualities that made humans distinct. Over the following days, the stellar Phoenix and the alien civilization exchanged ideas, technologies, and philosophies. The older ship's logs had guided them to this point, but it was human ingenuity that allowed them to interact meaningfully. The crew realized that humans were not just explorers. They were bridges. They connected worlds, shared ideas, and inspired admiration across the galaxy. During a quiet moment, Mira stood on the observation deck, looking out at the nebulae and stars. Commander Rylan joined her. "It's amazing," he said softly. "We're seeing the universe not just with our eyes, but through the lessons of those who came before us. And the aliens, they actually respect us for being human." Mira nodded. "That's the heart of it, Rylan. Our value isn't just in what we build or how fast we travel. It's in how we think, how we choose, how we act. That's what the older crew understood, and now it's our turn to prove it again." The crew faced new challenges as they moved through uncharted regions, including gravitational anomalies, energy storms, and celestial objects that threatened the ship's systems. Each obstacle was met with a combination of AI precision and human creativity. They repaired, adapted, and improvised, proving that humans could thrive even in environments designed to test their limits. At one point, the stellar Phoenix encountered a planet with a dense atmosphere of swirling gases and electrical storms. The planet's energy interfered with communications and navigation, yet the crew, using insights from the older ship and their own ingenuity, devised a method to stabilize sensors and map safe paths. It was a delicate balance of logic, intuition, and courage. Mira addressed the crew. Every challenge we face, every obstacle, is a test of our abilities and our spirit. We are not just representatives of Earth, we are representatives of humanity's potential. Every success here proves what we can achieve when we work together, think creatively, and act with purpose. The aliens continued to monitor the stellar Phoenix, observing the crew's problem-solving abilities and decision-making. They recorded data on human ingenuity, adaptability, and cooperation. Mira understood that this was a test as much as it was a learning opportunity. The galaxy was not just a place to explore, it was a place where humanity's qualities were noticed, measured, and respected. As the days turned into weeks, the stellar Phoenix reached the final coordinates indicated by the older ship's logs. There, they found a massive structure, an ancient space station orbiting a star that had long been considered unremarkable. The station pulsed with energy, its design unlike anything recorded in human history. Mira led the crew in a careful approach. "This is it," she said. "The culmination of everything the older crew discovered. What lies inside will test us further. But it's also a chance to learn, to grow, and to leave our mark." Inside the station, the crew discovered records of multiple civilizations, interstellar trade routes, and technologies that defied comprehension. Among the records were detailed observations of humanity's potential left by the aliens as a testament to human ingenuity. The logs praised human creativity, adaptability, and moral decision-making, noting that even when outmatched technologically, humans found ways to thrive and influence their surroundings positively. Mira felt a swell of pride. "We're not just following in history's footsteps, we're part of it. And we're proving that humans are capable of greatness on their own terms, through courage and ingenuity." The crew explored every chamber, documented everything, and returned to the stellar Phoenix with renewed determination. They had faced the unknown, learned from those who came before, and connected with a civilization far beyond their own capabilities. The HFY lesson was clear. Humanity's strength lay not in machines or weapons, but in the mind, the heart, and the ability to adapt, create, and act with integrity. As the stellar Phoenix prepared to leave the station, Mira addressed the crew. "We've seen what humanity can achieve, even when history forgets it. We've interacted with beings who respect us not for our power, but for our choices. And now, it's our responsibility to continue, to explore, and to inspire. The galaxy is vast, but we are capable. Never forget that." The stars stretched before them, endless and mysterious. The stellar Phoenix moved forward, carrying humanity's courage, creativity, and legacy. The older ship had been a guide, the alien civilization a mirror, and now the crew themselves were the torchbearers, lighting the way for future explorers. Mira watched the stars, feeling the weight of history and the promise of the future. "We are humans," she whispered, "and that is more than enough to change the universe." The stellar Phoenix moved steadily through the glittering expanse of stars, leaving the alien station behind. Captain Mira Talon stood at the bridge, her eyes tracing constellations that no human had charted before. The past weeks had been a whirlwind of discovery, learning, and challenges. The older ship, the alien civilization, and the uncharted regions they had traversed had all shown humanity's potential. The journey was far from over, yet the crew felt a renewed sense of purpose. They were not just explorers, they were ambassadors of human ingenuity, courage, and morality. Lieutenant Solara monitored the communications console, a faint hum of signals passing through the stellar Phoenix's systems. "Captain, the aliens sent a new transmission. It appears to be a message of guidance, a set of coordinates and instructions for safe travel deeper into the galaxy. They seem to trust us." Mira nodded, a smile tugging at her lips. That trust is earned, Solara. They've seen what we are capable of. Let's make sure we honor it. The new coordinates led them to a system unlike any other. A massive star burned with a violet glow, surrounded by planets that shimmered with icy blue hues. Energy streams danced between the planets, forming natural currents through space. The Stellar Phoenix's sensors detected a small fleet of alien ships moving in synchronization, their movements precise and harmonious. These ships were not hostile. They appeared to be guardians, observing and guiding, ensuring the Stellar Phoenix navigated the system safely. Commander Rylan leaned over a console, studying the patterns. This is incredible. The aliens are creating safe passages for us through potentially dangerous regions. They're respecting our abilities, but also protecting us. It's a kind of mentorship, I think. Mira's eyes narrowed thoughtfully. They're showing us the universe, and at the same time, testing us. Every step we take, every decision we make is observed. But it's also an opportunity. If we succeed here, it proves that humans can handle challenges that even advanced civilizations respect. The Stellar Phoenix glided through the system, following the alien fleet's subtle guidance. The crew worked in unison, navigating streams of energy that could have shredded any unprepared vessel. Each calculation, each adjustment, was a collaboration between human intuition and AI precision. The journey demanded ingenuity, teamwork, and courage. It was the kind of challenge that defined humanity, not by strength alone, but by mind, heart, and adaptability. As they reached the heart of the system, a planet unlike any other appeared on the view screen. Its surface glowed with golden light, and structures that seemed artificial rose from the landscape. Mira's breath caught. The logs from the older ship. They hinted at a planet like this. Could it be? Solara scanned the planet. It matches the descriptions, Captain. The energy readings are consistent with advanced technology, but it's clearly integrated with the environment. Whoever built it valued balance and respect for the natural world. Mira nodded. Prepare a landing team. We'll explore, document, and establish communication if possible. Proceed with caution. The landing was precise. The Stellar Phoenix's crew descended onto the planet's surface, their suits protecting them from minor fluctuations in the atmosphere. As they walked across the golden plains, structures emerged, towers, bridges, and spires that seemed to hum with life. Despite their alien origin, there was a sense of harmony, a balance between technology and nature that resonated deeply. Rylan approached one of the structures, scanning its surface. Captain, these designs are astonishing. The architecture reflects intelligence far beyond our understanding, but it also shows a philosophy: respect for life, for balance, and for knowledge. It's like the civilization that guided us wants us to learn more than just technology. They want us to understand perspective. Mira smiled. That's the lesson humanity has always needed to embrace. Power alone is nothing. Wisdom, ethics, and creativity, that's what makes us truly capable. The crew explored further, discovering chambers filled with records of civilizations across the galaxy, technologies for sustainable energy, methods of interstellar travel, and insights into survival in extreme environments. Among the records were accounts of human interactions, noting that even though humans were newcomers, their courage, adaptability, and creativity had earned admiration. The logs praised humans for thinking beyond what was programmed or expected, for improvising solutions in ways no machine could anticipate. Solara read from one of the records aloud. They say humans are unpredictable in the best way. You never know what a human will try next, but it often works. It's a combination of curiosity, courage, and adaptability. Even when outmatched, humans find a way to influence their surroundings positively. Mira felt a deep swell of pride. That's what we've been doing all along. We may not have the oldest knowledge or the strongest weapons, but we have creativity, teamwork, and moral judgment. That's what sets us apart. Hours turned into days as the crew studied the planet, integrating its knowledge into the Stellar Phoenix's systems. They adapted their engines to use new energy sources, enhanced navigation algorithms based on the alien data, and tested new communication protocols. Every advancement made them more prepared for the unknown, more capable of facing challenges no human had encountered before. One evening, Mira walked to the observation deck, gazing at the glowing horizon. Rylan joined her. "Captain, I've been thinking. The older ship, the alien guidance, this planet, it's all connected. Someone wanted us to find this, to grow, to prove ourselves." Mira nodded. "It's a test, yes, but also a gift. Humanity has a way of rising to challenges, of taking opportunities others might not see. That's why we've earned the respect we have." Solara joined them, holding a small console displaying the latest readings. "Captain, there's a signal coming from deep within the planet. It's not alien, it's human. The older ship must have left it as a message or instruction, something to guide us further." Mira's heart raced. Let's see what it says. The message played, a recording left by the crew of the older ship. Their voices were calm but purposeful. "To those who come after, we hoped humanity would reach this point. We built, explored, and learned, not for glory, but for understanding. What you discover here is not just technology, it is the philosophy of exploration. Use it wisely. Learn, adapt, and respect life in all forms. The universe is vast, and humans are capable of great achievements when guided by courage, creativity, and integrity." Tears welled in Mira's eyes. "They trusted us," she whispered. "They believed in what humanity could do. Now it's our responsibility to carry that forward." The Stellar Phoenix left the planet with new knowledge, new technology, and renewed confidence. The crew had faced challenges, solved problems, and proven that humans could navigate complex, dangerous, and unknown situations with ingenuity and ethics. They were no longer simply explorers. They were representatives of humanity's potential, carrying lessons of courage and wisdom into the depths of space. As they traveled, the Stellar Phoenix encountered a massive energy storm, its swirling currents threatening to tear the ship apart. The AI calculated probabilities, but Mira made the final decisions. "We combine what we've learned, the old ship's guidance, the alien systems, and our own judgment. Trust in your minds, trust in your instincts. We can do this together." The crew worked in perfect coordination, adjusting shields, rerouting energy, and navigating through the storm. Every challenge became a testament to human resilience and creativity. The storm eventually subsided, leaving the Stellar Phoenix intact, its systems enhanced and its crew more confident than ever. Mira addressed the team. "Look at what we've done. We faced the unknown, learned from those who came before, and used our abilities to survive and grow. That is the essence of humanity. We do not rely on force alone. We rely on our minds, our hearts, and our will to succeed." Days later, as the ship emerged into a calm region of space, a new signal appeared on the sensors. It was not a threat, but an invitation. The aliens they had interacted with earlier had opened a portal of sorts, a gateway to regions of the galaxy previously unreachable. Mira studied the coordinates. "This is it," she said. "A chance to explore new worlds, establish connections, and leave our mark on the universe. The older crew began this journey, but we will continue it with knowledge, courage, and humanity at our core." The crew cheered softly, not out of frivolity, but from a deep sense of accomplishment and purpose. They were explorers, yes, but they were also torchbearers of a legacy that had waited decades to be realized. Humans were capable of rising to the occasion, of meeting challenges that even the galaxy itself might have doubted. As the Stellar Phoenix passed through the gateway, Mira transmitted a message back to Earth. To everyone watching, know this. Humanity is not just a species that survives. It is a species that creates, learns, and inspires. We have faced the unknown, and we will continue to face it. Our journey has only begun, and the universe is watching. We will rise to meet it. The stars stretched endlessly before them, a canvas for human ingenuity, courage, and spirit. The older ship, the alien guidance, and the lessons of the galaxy had prepared them. Now it was time for humanity to step boldly forward, to explore, to discover, and to inspire generations to come. Mira looked at her crew, proud, determined, and ready. "We are humans," she said softly, "and that is more than enough to change the universe." The stellar phoenix accelerated toward the unknown, its hull gleaming with potential, its crew united in purpose, and its mission clear: to continue the legacy of human courage, creativity, and ethical determination, leaving a mark that no star could ever erase. Humanity had faced the unknown, learned from it, and proved that even in the vastness of the galaxy, human spirit could shine brighter than any star. The journey continued, endless and full of promise, and humanity, at the helm of the stellar phoenix, would meet it with ingenuity, courage, and unwavering resolve.